What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 9 in my 12th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with the Saw films, we have Saw 4 from the year 2007. And first thing I want to say about Saw 4 is there's a lot of damn plot in Saw 4. And the second thing I want to say is, spoiler alert, I try to be pretty spoiler free with these, but this franchise is so hard to talk about because they bleed in to each other and reveal things, and it's hard to talk about these without going into spoilers. But this one follows a character named, well, first of all, the film opens up and Jigsaw is dead. He is dead on a slab, and they're actually doing his autopsy. In his stomach, they find the tape that was covered in wax that he swallowed, which I don't even know if you could swallow that. I mean, I'm pretty good at swallowing things, but I could. That's pretty big, man. And it's wide. You know, it's like flat and wide. It's such a weird thing. You know, it's not like pill shaped or something. But he swallows this wax tape, and it's in his stomach. There is a character by the name of Detective Hoffman, who was in Saw 3, I believe. Maybe even Saw 2, I can't remember. But he gets the tape, and it plays, and it's like, you know, basically calling out Hoffman and saying that, you know, just because Jigsaw died doesn't mean that the games are over, and let's play a game, blah, blah, blah. And then we cut back to a character named Rigg, Commander Rigg. He is actually a SWAT guy. He's not like a detective guy, and he has been around since, I think, Saw 2, but he's like sort of a background character as well. And this is sort of his movie. He's sort of the lead guy, like in Saw 3, how we were following one guy who was like dealing with all the traps. Forget his name already, but essentially, we also have the FBI coming in, and the FBI thinks that it's possible that Jigsaw had another accomplice besides Amanda Young, because the fact that some of the, you know, weight of some of the victims, Jigsaw would have been too frail, Amanda Young wouldn't have been strong enough, so there had to be another accomplice. And they think it might be Commander Rigg because he starts being connected to all these other Jigsaw killings that are happening currently. So Rigg goes from basically place to place. Like this first trap that he sees is this guy who, this girl rather, who has her like ponytail and like some gears and stuff like that. And it's like a trap where it's like basically scalping her, and there's like combinations hidden in the gears that he has to find and stuff. Then there's another one which is like, this is when like Saw like really started becoming like, okay, I don't care if this person dies type thing, because they're scumbags, and that goes on further as the series goes on. But there's like literally like a rapist who Rigg, I keep wanting to say Riggs, but it's Rigg, wants to or is required to like basically chain him up to this bed in this like seedy motel. There's pictures of all his victims all over the place, sort of regular Saw trap, but Rigg, his like part of this is to actually put this guy in the trap. So the whole time you're thinking like, oh, is this like how they set up the new Jigsaw killer, was like basically like forcing him through all these things. He's also looking for Detective Matthews from Saw 2, because Detective Matthews' body has never actually been found, and he's considered still missing. So we eventually find out about Detective Matthews. There's also like this other character named Jill who gets brought in by Strom, because I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the FBI is now involved, and there's Detective Strom who believes that Jigsaw had an accomplice. They bring in Jill, who was a love interest of Jigsaw, and we get some flashbacks of like basically how Jigsaw started this whole thing and like what Jill's involvement is. That's basically the plot, dude. It is like there's a lot going on here, and there's a ton of story. First of all, I really like this one. It's just it's. Oh, and another cool thing about this one is there's actually like tons of cool like shots and transitions in this one that are really neat. And you have some decent traps. There's one at the beginning that I thought was in like practice was really cool, but there's a little CGI in there, and it is the one. It's these two characters who are like chained together with like this like gear in the middle that's like pulling the chains like a winch. You know what I mean? And one of them has their mouth stitched shut and can't speak but can see, and the other one has their eyes stitched shut, can't see but can speak. So it's and they're chained to each other, so they have to communicate. It's pretty interesting. But then there's the guy, the pedophile dude, or not the pedophile. I mean, he's probably a pedophile, but the rapist dude, he has to like jab out his own eyes, which is pretty cool. Then there's another one that has these, and there's more people connected too. There's this lawyer and like this abusive dude and his wife, and they're like stabbed together with rods. And then you have like Detective Matthews who is on like an ice trap thing. But overall, it definitely adds a lot more to the story and helps you like sort of piece together some loose ends a little bit. You get to see a little bit how Jigsaw started this whole thing, how Jill's involved. It's a pretty solid Saw movie, and I kind of forgot like how it all played out, so it was kind of cool to revisit. And it's so interesting that Jigsaw is literally like dead in this film, like he's done. And he's like still has so much influence over this whole thing for the foreseeable future, but it is a little convoluted as these films go on and on. They do get more and more convoluted, but the more that I watch them and the more time goes by, the more I'm just like okay with it. It's like I don't really care. I like the fact that there's all these, it's like a soap opera or something, you know what I mean? There's all these intertwined characters, and people are showed early on in like one scene or something, and then they come back later on in the film or in the next film, and I just like how everything's intertwined. And say what you want about the Saw films, but damn did they actually care about trying to keep the story cohesive and like one story in the first 7 movies, because they keep it, you know, together. Like they try their hardest to like make one story, and I appreciate that, because so many film, I can't name another film series that like is this connected and doesn't ignore stuff and actually like changes stuff, like retcon stuff, but in the story. It's pretty interesting. But anyway, again, another solid damn Saw film. Not as good as Saw 3, but it's pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really like these movies. So, yeah, Saw 4, 8 out of 10. I'll see you guys with another one. Peace.